Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Welcome to the Blue Chip Podcast by fans for fans. This is your host Cody Potter. How y'all doing today? We're gonna talk a little bit about Jaden Daniels. We're gonna kind of foreshadow the Raiders game, but that's gonna be kind of like secondary on this pod. Really just to kind of go over what we're seeing so far in 2025 as far as the struggles and everything that this team is facing, man, and what looks different from last year. Of course, last year we saw a lot of things that were working for us that aren't really working over this year, man. Like this year, like I've noticed this a lot more. They're going to show it in the background quite a bit. This is somebody's breakdown of what was going on. This is something that I was trying to say after the Packers game and my Packers breakdown. They pretty much just play levels across defense. I mean, it is complete zone. I mean, it is four across and then three in the back end, man. That is you run into that. You got to run into that. That's something that I was like preaching earlier in the game, man. And people say, "Oh, we couldn't run the football. We couldn't run the football." Well, no, you couldn't run with Austin Eckler. The effort to run with Bill, you schematically we were just off. Let's be real. You got to be able to pass against this type of defense. That's what the Packers do, and there is ways to pass against this defense. One, you have to do what we are not doing here clearly in this video. You have to block. You cannot be missing assignments. You can't have an open lineman like when there's that kind of coverage down the field. You have 7-8 guys down the field. You have less guys rushing than you have guys blocking. So that tells you right there that there is going to be places in coverage that are going to have distinct advantages, man. And Green Bay plays that defense very well because they're getting after you with 4 guys. You're blocking with 5. Then you got your quarterback. So it's just a numbers game, and they got you beat. That's how they're able to swarm to the attack, to the football, man. That's why they're keeping everything in front of you. No big plays, things like that. People are like, oh, well, did they figure out Jaden? No, they didn't figure out Jaden. It's really hard to beat a defense like this when you refuse time and time again to run into that defense and make them switch that up. Start throwing them off balance, run into that defense, have effective run plays against that defense, which means a commitment to running into that defense and then beating them with play action, because you get guys that start cheating up because your run game is effective. And I'm sorry, I love Austin Eckler, man. It really sucks that we're about to lose him for the season, because dynamically and schematically there are systems that you really want Austin Eckler to be a guy that you feed and you give him more touches over the course of the game. This was not the game for it. And honestly, against the Giants, it wasn't really the game for it. Yes, maybe in the screen game and things like that, but on a down in and down out basis, you wanted Bill and what he offers. And when you saw it when we played against the Giants, the 2 out of the 3 good drives that we had in the whole game, of sloppiness, trying to be cute, trying to hit the screens. And, I know we are a screen heavy team and that is a part of our identity, but like you have to establish the run for the screen game to work. You have to establish the run for play action to work. You have to establish the run for the zone read to be a real threat. Like they're just going to run right at your running back, or right at your quarterback if they want to just get a free shot at Jaden Daniels. So the run game outside of the zone read has to be working. Everything this offense does, it has to be predicated through the run game. That is the whole dynamic. That is, last year we did not have a great run game outside of Jaden Daniels, but because it was mightily somewhat effective, at least with one running back each and every week, whether it was Chris Rodriguez, whether it was Jeremy Nichols, whether it was Austin Eckler or Brian Robinson, last week they at least stayed committed to the threat of the run. This year, not the same thing, and that is why this team is not struggling. The 3 good drives that this team has had this season have all been predicated around the run game. Deebo Samuel, Corey Cross-Kamara, Bill, and I'm sorry, Austin Eckler would have been a piece to that, and he would have had his time to shine in this offense, and we just haven't played that type of defense yet. And now he's gone for the season, so it's just an element of this offense that you're not even going to see through this year in the screen game and outside, because we never actually tried to get an inside presence in the run game. And Bill offers that. He is a good, athletic, explosive, one cut, a go running back, and it really accentuates the blocking scheme. And to that, when teams know you're throwing the ball 75% of the game because you're not committed to the run, well, they can do what the Green Bay Packers did against us. They can bring the house. They can bring blitzes, and they can do stunts and exotic blitzes because, one, for all the additions that we made on offense, Josh Connerly Jr. is a rookie. He is a rookie offensive tackle. So there are going to be lapses. And when you go against Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Brian Burns, and then Micah Parsons, like, dude, you're going to have lapses for a rookie. Like, that is the gauntlet of gauntlets. And now you got Max Crosby this upcoming week. So it does not get easier in the NFL. This is the best game you're going to like. He's had 3 matchups that would have been the best game of the season at Oregon. 3 weeks in a row, he's having that. So that's just life in the NFL, and he's going to adjust, and he will be just fine. He's athletic. He's a hard worker. This will all get corrected. Another thing that helps the correction of this is communication on the offensive line. Well, did you think last year, while I thought the offensive line exceeded expectations, this year they are definitely not exceeding expectations. They are not even living up to the expectations, not when you think about the collective roster talent that you have on this offensive line. But to be fair, continuity, working together over the course of the season, this offensive line is going to look completely different by week 8 than what they're looking like now. Execution is going to be completely different, just simply off of the players knowing what to do for the player beside them. That's why right now, when you see Green Bay getting pressure, when you see the Giants getting pressure, oh, well, we might have our center not even blocking anybody, or our left guard might not be blocking somebody, or our right guard might not be on a hat. And that happens because there is not the proper connection. And these teams know it, and that's why they're doing these stunts. That's why they're doing these exotic blitzes. There is not a communication level that is, ready when you don't play in the preseason, and you haven't had a season together. You're learning on the fly. That is why communication up front has been so bad. That's why blocking has been so bad. That is another reason why this team needs to run the damn football, because communication is one thing. It is pivotal in the pass blocking department, but in the run game department, it is get a hat on a damn hat, open lanes, and move forward and let your bulls do the work. And we just have not done that. We have to get back to what we are as a team and the identity that, you can make all the moves in the offseason. It can look sexy. You can build it up bigger and it can look good. But, if you're not going to play to your identity as an offense, well, if I'm bringing in Laramie Tunsil and I'm bringing in Josh Connerly Jr. and I'm moving Brandon Coleman inside and I'm going to get Sam Cosmi back and, Tyler Biadasz is a good run-blocking offensive lineman, well, if those are my strengths, yeah, I'm going to run the damn football behind it. And I mean, dude, like, this isn't a knock on Cliff Kingsbury. This is just a simple thing that you played into the team's to the team's strengths that you've been playing against so far. Hopefully against the Raiders, their offense isn't going to make you pay like Green Bay's offense made you pay. We made enough plays against the Giants because our defense was looking dominant. But when the defense doesn't look dominant, and that will happen in the NFL, because I don't think we are a completely dominating defense. I will say one thing: we're not getting any kind of calls. I mean, we're getting flags thrown on us on defense that the other teams are doing to us on offense. So I mean, right now it's just a collection of like fuckery that I'm seeing. But I mean, I'm not going to blame it on the referees. I mean, you got to beat these calls. You got to play better. You got to execute better. You can't even give the referees a reason to throw the flags. And if you do, I mean, it's going to get called. And that's what's happening to us on offense right now. So again, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why this team is doing what they're doing. There's a reason why Jayden Daniels looks bad. There's a reason why he's hurt. And honestly, I mean, it's something that this whole team needs to look in the mirror and they have to get corrected, because I mean, this is a long season. Should he play this week, against Oakland, and, should we protect him, blah, blah, blah. Well, here's the truth of the story, man. He is a young quarterback, and players have to develop. And if he is capable of playing, if he is healthy enough to play, he needs to play. There's a reason why he's hurt. Something in his game is leaving him at risk of getting hurt. And it is not just him. It is the collection of the offensive line playing bad, the communication up front not playing good, and we've played really good defenses, and they've gotten after him. But he needs to get rid of the football. There was things at LSU that said Jayden Daniels gets contacted a lot more than most quarterbacks because the amount of time that he holds the ball, because the threat of his legs. And when the threat of the legs are working, it's a great thing. But when teams are in coverage and they're allowing their defense to get home on him, it's not a great thing if he's not making the plays that are in front of him. And you see right there, we made one play that was in front of us. But again, that's beating somebody down the field. That was execution. That was finally somebody beating their one-on-one matchup after the catch, and we didn't have enough of that. And it takes a team, man. It takes a whole. It's all 11 right now. It's 11 on defense. It's 11 on offense. That's why this team is where they are. Could we be 2-0? I believe we have the talent. We're capable enough to go to Green Bay and win that type of game. But the way that they played, I mean, honestly, that's a 0-16 season the way that you played that matchup. Just by the level of intensity that you had, it was nice to see them fight at the end of the game. But again, they got hurt. Jaden got hurt. You lost Austin Eckler to an injury because you were just running a scheme that really wasn't beneficial to beating that type of defense, man. Just underprepared, man. Just every level, man. Just all four phases of the game just could have been a lot better. As I said with Jaden, man, me personally, if the dude can play, you got to play him, man. You are getting hurt because of something you are not doing on the field. That is part of your development. You think Lamar Jackson hasn't played through injury, Kyler Murray hasn't played through injury. Every quarterback plays through injury. If they can play and is not something that is going to affect them long term, you have to be on the field, because right now, just like last season when he hurt his ribs, he started playing a completely different style of football. And that completely different style of football in the Bears game, playing with the broken ribs and the Hail Mary, that jump-started this team and their success, because we started completely calling games completely different. We started using Jaden completely different. Jaden started playing from his assignments completely different. So if he can play this game and he is hurt, and maybe you don't run him as much, he maybe gets to see, oh man, I wouldn't have thrown, I need to throw that ball away there. Last week I didn't throw that ball away. Or, oh, it's there for me to hit, I need to hit it instead of just holding it down, waiting for the last minute. It's just there, let me take it, let me get down, protect myself. These are the nuances of development as a quarterback that he needs to start hitting. And I said it again, man, he needs to have continuity with other players. Jalen Lane was going to be very important to this team's success. Noah Brown was going to be, really important to this team's success. Luke McCaffrey was going to be very important to this team's success. Noah Brown's not playing this week against the Raiders, and he's been hurt all season so far, and that's a thing that's been continuous through his career. So again, it's these guys have to be able to step up. That was why developing a rapport with them in training camp was so important. He's got to start hitting Terry. Honestly, I mean, there's a reason Terry makes that money. Deebo Samuel is the most effective looking wide receiver that we have right now, and honestly, that we need to complement around that with Terry McLaurin, with Jalen Lane, with Luke McCaffrey. But it all starts up front in the run game, man, and that is the quarterback's best friend. And if this offense is going to turn it around this year and look anything like they looked last year, it's going to be because they get back to the identity of what they brought in, the collection of talent for this offense for this offseason. And it's going to be playing to their strength, and that is moving that offensive line forward. They are big physical guys. They are big, strong physical guys. And when Sam Cosmi comes back, that is another road grader. Brandon Coleman is a road grader, man. Get this offensive line moving forward and start attacking teams and dictating the pace of the game, controlling the clock. And I promise you, this is a completely different defense on the other side of the ball if you are not just putting them right back on the field every time. I mean, it was rough. It was rough watching that Green Bay game. But you know what, man? That's going to be a storyline going forward. If you want to get to the Super Bowl, it's the Philadelphia Eagles. It's the Green Bay Packers. It's the Detroit Lions. And it is teams that are very, very physical up front on defense, and you're going to have to beat them. And you brought in all these moves for the offense. You brought them in to accentuate it. You brought in Bill. You really like what you got in him, then run his ass. I mean, that's what you brought him in for. You always want to, I understand the veteran coaches, the defensive coaches tend to lean on the veterans a lot more than most other teams. They try to get the game comfortable and things like that. But honestly, man, true teams grow in discomfort, man. Injuries bring opportunities, man. So it's time for players to step up. Ben Sinnot's got to step up. With John Bates out, because John Bates is a elite level blocking tight end in this league, and we need that. Ben Sinnott, time for you to step up. Time for you to have an impact in the passing game. Bill, you're going to have to step up. Chris Rodriguez, I feel comfortable with, man. I would have had him on the field more this season already than he has been. He's been inactive for the first two games. I wouldn't have done that. Me personally, I like the way Chris Rodriguez runs inside. He's a big physical runner. The strength of this team is moving that offensive line forward. That would be effective for this team. So I like the idea of Chris Rodriguez. I like the idea of Bill getting more touches and things like that, and then using Bill in the screen game and his explosive ability, getting him out in space, kind of in ways that you would use Austin Eckler. Again, man, it's just execution. It's just sloppiness when you don't play the preseason, things like that. Looking forward to the Raiders again. As I said, Josh Connerly, man, it's you're going to step up in this league or you're going to get left behind. There's plenty of teach tape that you should learn. You're not going. I mean, dude, it's not getting any easier with Max Crosby. So you think things that they have done with Abdul Carter, things that they've done with Micah Parsons, that's the things that he's watching on tape that he's going to try to deploy against you. Can you learn? Can you improve yourself in your rookie season? We need better play from that position. We need Trey Amos to play more physical. Trey Amos probably shouldn't be coming off the field. Honestly, right now, the way that teams are calling schematic things up against Marshawn Lattimore, I think I would have Trey Amos and Mikey Sanders still on the field. Whatever. I love Marshawn Lattimore. I don't think his coverage is as bad as, the narrative around him is. Teams are moving guys in motion, and it's a quick 10. It's a quick 10 if you move a guy in motion, you play man coverage, and you got a guy traveling across the field. Like, it's going to be a quick pass to that player. You didn't move anything across the field to even change up the look. You didn't even, schematically change it up. So that play is going to continue to be there. So you can look at Marshawn Lattimore giving up 5 passes in that same exact play. The truth is, we didn't make defensive adjustments. We didn't make offensive adjustments. We ran right into the defense the way that their defense was being called, to the strength of that defense, and the same thing we did on offense, man. Like, it's the same thing. Green Bay's teach tape is throwaway tape. You just get on it, move on from it, and you look towards Oakland, because honestly, this is an opportunity for this defense to get a little bit more confidence going forward. Get after Geno Smith, make him make mistakes. Do not be the defense that allows this guy to get some swagger and get going through this game, man. That just lets him hang around and things like that, man. Be physical. They are not running the ball. Make sure that continues. If Ashton Jeanty is averaging 2.5 yards a carry, make sure you're the defense that continues to make that happen. If they're the team giving up, throwing three interceptions on Monday night because the Chargers attacked some kind of defensive strategy at them, be that same defensive strategy. Show him the same looks, make him make the same mistakes, and make him show that he can beat that. And then if he does show you he can beat it, then you adjust to the things that you want to do. But if there's a narrative on a team, you attack him that way. Same thing with Jordan Love, man. There is a narrative. You get pressure on his ass, he makes mistakes. We didn't do those things. That's why he torched us. We didn't blitz him. We didn't give anything exotic. Teams are like, oh, well, we were holding on offense, and then, dude, we did not blitz his ass. We dropped into coverage, and then we couldn't even cover in coverage. So, I mean, the truth is we did nothing to the game plan that's out on the book for saying these guys have these weaknesses. We need to do this against them. We did the opposite. Micah Parsons, you run at him. Instead, we throw 75% of the game. We played like we were down 28-0 from the first quarter, and that's just what it is. So, I mean, honestly, you just got to be better schematically. You got to get back to what the strength of this team is, and the strength of this team is being the physical bully up front. Get back to that. That's what this team really needs to be. If that means you got to blitz. Frankie Louvu, you got to show up, dude. Like, that's where the blitz comes into the. You're running your most effective player backwards in coverage. Frankie Louvu is a friggin' lightning rod, man. Let that dude get after the quarterback. Let him use his speed. Be creative with this guy. Don't use him as an edge rusher. Use him as a linebacker coming on a stunt. Like, through an open gap, and then just let him start hitting running backs. Let him be physical. Let him start setting the tone like he did last year with him and Jeremy Chin. That is the physical element of this defense that we are missing right now, is that Jeremy Chin on the back end, that Frankie Louvu lightning rod in the middle of the defense, moving forward at all times, hitting ball carriers and being effective. Yes, he has failed to wrap up some ball carriers so far this year. That needs to get cleaned up. But, I mean, honestly, dude, we just don't look the same. We don't have the same identity. And that's the identity we're going to have all 17 weeks of this season. I promise you we're not going to be in the playoffs, or we're going to limp in, or we're going to get our asses handed to us, because there is no physical element. And the fact that you got more physical bodies as a collection in this offseason and you're not playing physical football, well, that just tells me right there that we're just mishandling assets. So, again, I appreciate you guys checking out the pod, man. I wanted to say this because this is what I've noticed for the first 2 weeks of the season with the Washington Commanders. Want to continue to bring college football breakdowns to you guys, man. Look forward to college football. We got the Raiders coming up Sunday, man. Whether Jaden Daniels plays or not, Marcus Mariota, I have faith in this team. But it really starts up front, and those are the things that we're going to have to get back to if we want to, come away with a win on Sunday. Nothing's guaranteed in this league, especially after a team that just got their asses handed to them on Monday night against a divisional opponent. They're going to want to come back and get this game. But you have every advantage. You're at home. They're traveling. Short week. We're on a long week, preparation, things like that. There's no reason that we don't come out fast and furious. Like right from the beginning, man, we got to be on our ass and be the more physical team, dictate things up front, and control the game, control the clock, and be that way. And that's how you get a win against the Las Vegas Raiders. So again, thank you guys for checking out the pod. I will have my college foreshadow this week, coming probably tomorrow. Looking forward to these college games, get some game tape in. I'll find out where the Commanders are doing most of their scouting. I'll do a review on those games and maybe highlight a couple players that have some success this week. And just appreciate you guys sticking around for the pod. Thank you guys and have a blessed day. Peace.